Hopefully this is working. We'll go back on doing the same thing over and over again, and it will be a pain in the backside. Oh no, actually, hang on. Can't believe I've got all the technology working straight away. That will be a surprise. Pop something in there. There we go. Hopefully that will pop up on the chat. Fingers crossed. There it is. So we are ready to go. And you can hear me, I'm pretty certain I can see the camera moving up and down. I know it's a bit earlier than 8 o'clock, which I originally thought, but hey, there you go. Apparently there's football on tonight. So trying to get in there before everyone decides that football's more important than me, which of course it is, absolutely. Right, get down in the old comment section, let me know that everybody is about. Oh, thank you for someone liking it already and you haven't even watched me. Guarantee it's going to be enthralling. Ian, good morning, good afternoon, good night, good whatever it be. Hope you're well. Evening. Eric, hello Eric. Ping i230 versus Mizuno JPX 923 Forge. Aside from loft differences, how would you compare them 923 more forgiving? Oh, that's a really good one, because actually I would say that's going to be a tight one, because the i230 is my pick out of all of the Ping range. There you go. Very, very good. I can see a video coming. Go on, give us some love for i230 versus Mizuno JPX 923 Forged. Give us some thumbs up for that one. Hi Dave, good morning, good evening, sorry. Mr. Graham 1337, did I reply to your comment you literally just sort of sent about an hour ago or so? Good day, I hope all is well. It is, all is well. I need a little bit of a pick-me-up tonight, today, this evening, whichever one it is. I've had a stressful week when it comes to Facebook. Won't say any more than that. Hi pal, what is stiffer, Project X 6.0 or Project IO 6.0? Project X 6.0 is the stiffer bend profile. IO has got a slightly weaker lower part, but yeah, slightly, well, Project X 6.0 is a more of a linear stiffness, where the IO has got some weak points in it and stuff like that. So the LS, the Project X LS, is a different one completely, because the butt is very, very stiff in an LS. But you didn't ask about an LS, so just add that in there. IJ, what's your actual handicap? I haven't got one. So the advantages of, oh, hello, hang on. I want to make sure, you can probably see that's going on in the background. I've got to make sure I get that one right. If I flick over to there, because YouTube is now good, so I can then look at everyone's pictures and, sorry, everyone's comments in big rather than tiny writing on my 4K screen. Hi Dave, my open mind. Oh, Dave, is it Dave? I can't remember now. This has gone back a long way. Hi, is it worth upgrading from a 2021-22 driver to the new driver? From any 2021-22 driver to the new driver, or just if you had a same version but the new one of, is there much? Mizuno, of course. Okay, thanks for that. Next one down. Okay, so the difference between the STZ, let's just say Z, and X, doesn't matter, or Z, depending where in the world, 220 and the 230 is, the 230 was very much so focused on forgiveness. So up until that point, up until the 220, Mizuno were pushing ball speed as much as they could do, understanding how to make a face react as fast as possible up until the limits of what is allowed. Got to that point, and then they were deciding, okay, so how do we make it more forgiving? How do we get the face, other parts of the face better? Good. How do we make a golf club stable enough to be used? 220, good. And the 230 is an amalgamation of everything. Hence why they've said this is a 2-year life cycle product. No more quick turnarounds, which will please a lot of people. Mark King, hi, what's your opinion on the Ad 7 Ferry shaft? Oh, sorry, there we go. It just went over to another sentence. If it fits, great. As with everything, as long as you get your shaft fitted, shaft does matter, or doesn't matter what people. I've had some poisonous trolls on Facebook this week that has, yeah, I mean, I can take a lot of stuff. I'm fairly thick-skinned. You've got to be thick-skinned if you're going to go on YouTube. But I tell you what, there are some people out there which are just, doesn't matter, you can give them the moon and they would still complain. But yeah, just been people that be oh God, you know what? I'm trying my best for people and they just want to still moan. Dave Hurley, any benefits from hard stepping iron shafts? Can be. You're talking about a very specific, smaller part of the spectrum of people, generally speaking. When you start talking about soft stepping and hard stepping shafts, it is so much more of a minute kind of tweaking to, and because generally speaking, when it comes to even the swing DNA stuff, you've got loads and loads of shafts. You've got all of the standard shafts in standard length, and then you've got a certain selection, say half of them or so, of the half-inch extra, but you don't really have any options when it comes to a shaft which has been soft or hard stepped. So you're kind of having to talk to the customer and then sort of saying, well, if you had this and had that, that would make that, but you can't physically test it. So it's always a little bit of a, I'm telling you what you need to do and you're just going to do it, because you can't test it so that the client can actually understand why they need it. Do you prefer heavier, lighter, or the same weight of shaft in your wedges? Same. I'm not one for messing around too much. If it works in an iron, it will work in the wedges. It's just shorter, that's it. As long as you're delivering like you should do a wedge and controlling trajectory, that's done by delivery. It can be tweaked a little bit by shaft, but not a lot. I mean, yeah, delivery wins. Shaft is key, absolutely key. The test I did earlier on this week, I released and people moaned at. Doesn't matter. I'll still keep going. Raw. The delivery wins, but shaft's important. You get someone we've done on that shaft, the balls just go everywhere. They're literally showering everywhere. Cheers for reply, buddy. Have a stress-free, great weekend. I try, although this week has been difficult. I will keep on prattling on about it because it did frustrate me this week. I try. My problem is the fact that obviously I'm trying to open up AskGolfNut to the world a little bit, and then add more platforms and stuff like that. Just so, yeah, I'm terrible at Instagram. I'm terrible at Twitter. I just do YouTube, and so I'm always going to be like that. I need to be, yeah. Anyway, I just do that, and of course you get the old trolls, don't you, from the Facebook forums, and they just all yeah. Doesn't matter. Hi Steve, how you doing? Hi Jay, is it worth changing my ES21 wedges to S23s? Unless you've got a reason to, fella. Honestly, the ES21 wedges were great, they really were. The only reason why they changed them, honestly, let's be honest, they won't get no traction on tour. Why won't they get no traction on tour? Because they don't look what a tour player would like. Change it to an S23 wedge, they've got them over there, and they look so much like a tour-inspired iron wedge. So yeah, they'll get much more use potentially from the tour in an S23, but the CG on it is basically exactly the same. What clubs are in your golf bag for this season? Make any changes? I am a stickler. It took me a while to change over to MP20 when I did change to MP20 2 years ago, and I'm sticking with them. I love 221s. Actually, I mean, I might give you a little rare. Shall I give you a little rare sneak peek into the world of my studio? There you go. Have a little sneak peek. Now, can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? If you can't, say. Because I'm hoping you still can, because last time I did this, it all went Pete Tong. I went over to do a demonstration and I did it in sign language because people couldn't hear me because of the microphones attached to the but hopefully you can. Good. Yeah, so basically my set of I got, because I'm a bit of I'm a snob, when it comes to golf things. I'm a golf geek. I love gear. I love doing stuff. That's why I do this. I mean, of course it is. I love doing that. And by testing this stuff, I do it in the way I do it, and I can give you guys some understanding of how something works. But you see that on the top of the screen there. So there, that's my LED case, and that's going to have some blades in it and stuff like that, and also the copper MP20 heads that I've managed to acquire somehow. But yeah, so that's what's going to happen in that anyway. But I need someone's help. If someone knows, how would you mount in a case head only? So no shaft, just head only. Yeah, I'll let you decide on that one. You can give us your feedback. Right. So no, I won't be changing too much when it comes to this season. Right, so I am being a bit kind of, I need to go back on the comments, because you comment fast and I can sometimes reply. For mid-handicapper, which fairway would you recommend as a fairway finder? G430 Max is a very, very good fairway wood. TSR2, possibly not. That's more of a distance-inspired iron, where G430 still is still forgiving. They can say what they want when it comes to, was it lighter, faster, whatever it'll be, but it's still very, very forgiving. And it's not short by no stretch of imagination. And also when it comes to the STZ230 fairway wood, same Cortex stuff as the oh, there we go. Same Cortex stuff as the driver. So, yeah. Right. Dave, cheers. Mr. Cram, 1337. I'm upgrading from a top flight starter set. Wow, well done. Top flight starter. Any particular standouts for, as it goes up, forgiveness for an entire bag, similar swing speed to you, Ping, Mizuno, Callaway from a quick glance is what I've seen. Do you know what? And again, I'm like this and stuff like that. But I'm honest, as people should know by now, or the people who do watch me know, and the people at Facebook just, yeah, anyway. Ping are really good, and why are Ping really good is because they can be bent like crazy. So as your swing is evolving, as long as we understand which direction your shaft requirements are going to be through speed and stuff like that, you can always go slightly lower on the shaft requirements and then grow into it a little bit. And then also have your lie adjustments bent like mad should you need. They are very, very good. That's the only manufacturer I know, Ping, that can bend a head so ridiculously crazy amounts as they do. Right, let's go, because I've got more of the comments on another screen. It's just really small. I'm getting old with my eyes. Eric Brandy, yes, good. Axel Nilsson, we can hear, yes, good. All good here. Can still hear, good. That's from before. Ray Don, I'm behind. I have a driver fitting next week and currently have a Ping G400. Can I expect any gains from a new driver? How good was the fitting for your G400? If that's a G400, the G400 was a very, very good driver. If it was the G400 Max, it was a very, very, very good driver. The 400 standard wasn't as good as the Max. And even nowadays, if I get people with a Max coming in for a custom fit, yeah. If it was fit properly for them, good luck on that one. You're not beating that. Well, you would, but when it comes to an average golfer that miss hits and stuff like that, you've got to take everything into account. You're not going to beat the averages. So, let's go down. Trevor, yes, go ahead. Your fave non-blade players iron ever. Ooh. Well, I'm a Mizuno person because I played them when I was younger, but MP57s weren't a blade. They blooming well were. They're the smallest cavity I've ever. It's a smaller cavity than a Tour, JPX 923 Tour. But possibly non-blade. I'd have to say, I mean, I've hit a load and my opinions change as time goes on because you hit something new and you're like, wow, yeah, that's nice. And because things keep on just pushing the needle. We've gone to a point of where we don't make massive steps anymore, but we're pushing needles. And I was going to say I210 was, but now it's I230. It feels just as good and performs just a fraction better and a little bit more forgiving. Looks quite nice as well. Yeah, it's difficult not to ignore it. Let's have another one. Muffin 007, great name. Cracking name. Are you better off having tighter gaps at the bottom or the top of your bag? Cheers. Right, when it comes to gapping, make sure that you've got enough where you need it, as a case of, I don't care if you've got a 25-yard gap between your 3-wood and your whatever it would be, and then a 40-yard gap between your driver and whatever it be. It's the expectation, of understanding of expectation when you're talking about a golf course. You're saying, okay, if I put 10 golf balls down and I'm 200 yards away, whatever that one is for you, whatever club, what's my expectation? What's my realistic expectation for my handicap to actually hit target, whatever that number would be? I'm pretty certain if you put 10 balls 100 yards away, your expectation is going to be slightly higher. So you need to make sure that you've got the correct gapping. You've got to make sure you get enough golf clubs down the bottom there, so you've got the yardages for where you score. There you go, nice concise one. Rob S, are there any, excuse me, YouTube drink? There you go. I've took the sticker off it this time, but people will understand what probably looks like, it's not mouthwash. Are there any differences in the altar shafts throughout the years aside from the adapters, blue, gold, red, slate? Yes. Okay, nuance changes because of the severe counterbalancing that you've got when it comes to a ping. The new ones, they are slightly different in the new G430 because they're not quite so counterbalanced. So when it comes to the old tour shaft, the silver, is similar to the black tour shaft now, if I remember. But basically all the new shafts are different. The old school shafts, they are very similar. There is a little nuance differences where obviously you've got differences between fairway woods and hybrids and slight design changes throughout the years and stuff, but as a capture, they are fairly close. They've just got different paint on them. TC419s and stuff like that, if I remember. Right. Chase Wood, just ordered the 923 Tour. They felt awesome. They do feel awesome. Just as good as an MP. Mizuno Pro. Can't keep saying it, yeah. I want to get a new driver. I'm playing the G410 LST. Was wondering if I had a recommendation for a prior year driver head. Does that the 410 LS Tech was a good head. If you can find some, if you can find something to beat it, and this is the thing, ping heads are really good, right? Really good. It's not like different manufacturers have blips in different times, and they'll have like a rubbish head that they'll try. Okay, let's get rid of that one, and you change direction. Every so often they have blips. Ping very rarely ever have a blip because of the way they do things. It's just, we don't care about being the longest. We care about being the longest overall. When you look at all your misses as well, and not just focus on the one that you've slipped right out the screws, and it's gone 30 yards further than the rest of them that have gone like this. But yeah, ping are pretty good like that. Most Deadly Geist. Nice name. Do you think more players should focus? I'll tell you what, I can flick down over here now, I think. Can I? Yeah, I can, good. If I flick to this screen, the writing's bigger, makes my eyes like, ugh. Do you think more players should focus on what shaft they're getting in their clubs rather than the club head themselves? I'm of the opinion that the shaft is like 90% of the shot. Right, so again, if you've seen the video which I put out earlier this week, which caused certain people to have a little bit of a troll session, right, at no point did I say that shaft isn't important. I said on countless times that shaft is extremely important for the vast majority of golfers. I, especially in irons, do not have really any care about what shaft it is. I deliver the same regardless of shaft. And whether it's because of synchronization, I don't know. My speed hardly changes at all, if any. And because I'm trying to synchronize a swing for a delivery every single time. And my brain just does that. I don't really have any input into it. I don't even think about, oh, I've got this and that, because I've blind tested within reason. And I just do the same. I can feel static. That's the only thing. I can feel static weight when you just pick the club up and go like that. Most golfers, is the shaft 90% of the shot? It's not 90% of the shot, it's not. But there is a, I would say it's 50-50, depending on what type of individual you are. If you're someone who focuses on the shaft a lot, then it can be more than 50%, definitely. If you're someone who don't really care too much, and you're very much so of the, I don't really know too much, I'm just coming to a fit completely like, ooh, I don't know. Most people will focus on head, but a shaft will make a massive difference as well. It really, really depends on the individual. But shaft is important, Facebook trolls. I'll keep on going on about it. I really will. Axel Nielsen, hello. I'm doing driver 3-wood, 15 degree, and a 4-iron. No one uses the 4-iron anymore. Well, they do, I don't. I'm getting too old for a 4-iron. So I need something in between the 3-wood and 4-iron. What would you recommend? A hybrid? Another wood, no driving iron, please. Yeah. Hybrid, I personally would do, depending on your requirements. If you need height, though, where you play, a ferry wood, like a 7-wood or something like that, will always pump a hybrid off the market when it comes to height, because lower, further back CG, just get it launching higher. If you don't need height and you need to be concentrating on flighting, then yeah, definitely a hybrid will get out of higher anyway than any kind of game improvement iron would do for a comparable loft, because of design. It's got roll and bulge, everything. It's a hybrid. I play hybrid. I go into a 5-wood and 7-wood, I would do, but I actually quite like the shorter shaft of hybrids. Yeah, it's like cheating to a certain extent sometimes. Tony Glover, hey GolfNut. How you doing? Honestly, if you were a high handicap golfer, 16 plus 20 or 16, yeah, would you consider the Mizuno hot metal? Yeah, I'm leaning that way, but keep hearing good things about the new Ping G430. Look, every iron, no manufacturer makes a bad iron. I'm editing at the moment. I haven't quite done this yet. I'll go tell you what. I'll go get it. Bear with. Back again. Right, so I haven't as yet done this, as in the editing of this thing. There you go. As you can see, this is the Stealth HD. HD, what does that mean? High, I don't know. HD. That is a really interesting looking golf club, right? Oh, get it right. There you go. Can you see the shape of that thing? Can you? It's like round. That's an interesting design. What that video's coming soon. Or kicking stuff underneath the table. So, but yeah, when it comes to a 16 to 20 handicap or anything, it depends on what your strike requirements are, depending on what your golf clubs will fit into different people depending on what they need and how they deliver. As a baseline understanding, a 923 hot metal is one of the fastest faces you're going to get. It is ridiculous, and 430 is pretty quick too. The 430 is it a major jump over the 425? Not so much. The 923 is a bit of a bigger jump over the 921 because it has got a faster face and it has done it in a way where it doesn't sound nowhere like a game improvement iron. It doesn't. It sounds like it doesn't sound like a forged iron. It's not that, but it's not the same. You move over to a G430, you can definitely tell you're hitting a cast golf club. It is noisier and louder. Do you prefer doing fittings or lessons? They're both the same thing. I'll go into a fitting and then we'll chat about obviously the dynamics of someone's delivery. If someone's looking for a certain kind of golf club, I'm saying, are you looking to have lessons? Are you having active lessons, yes or no? And if they are looking to improve, I'll be saying, right, okay, so you're swinging across by 8 degrees at the moment with face 5 open. If you understand what that means, slicing it basically, swinging across face 5. If you're looking and your lie angle's this, if you're looking to try and get better, you'll be looking at moving your path. If you move your path, and generally speaking, as soon as you move your path, you coming from a different angle, which means your dynamic lie changes as well. You need to be, and you gain a bit of speed, and I won't go into whys and wherefores. I could do if you want to, but because you don't get in your own way. When you swing across, you kind of swing into yourself and you get in your own way. Where you swing a different way from the inside and swing outwards, you kind of just release the golf club and it lets it go a bit faster. So you have to build the understanding of what their requirements will be against to obviously what they are now, but you're trying to get something that's going to fit them now, and if anything they'll grow into it, they'll get the spec will get better and better and better. But yeah, it's like the conversation's a two-way thing. They have to be honest. Are they going to go for lessons? Are they not? Are they just playing 3 times a year? They just want to have fun. So again, but it's same thing. A lesson is a fit, and a fit is a lesson. It's all related. Eric, I tend to strike irons wedges much more consistently with a shaft around 130, like a GGS 300 or Modus 130. What swing characteristics typically lead people to fit into heavier shafts? Wow, okay. I can tell you what people say. Generally speaking, the stronger golfer, definitely. If you've got a stronger golfer, they will automatically gravitate to something which is a bit, much heavier and much more stable, in their own words, because of the fact you've got this thing of bending when it comes to swinging, and yeah, you need a little bit of, shall we say, stability when it comes to swinging. If not, you're going to find that thing like a rubber band, and they're just going to go, don't like it, don't like it, don't like it. So, generally speaking, the faster player does go for a slightly stiffer. Now, what I have found that when I'm measuring people is if you put something which is stiffer in their hands or heavier in their hands, but stiffer in heaviness is generally speaking like for like, it makes them straighter. So I've always said this when it comes to speaking to other fitters: if you're going to make a mistake, just go too stiff. If you're going to make a mistake, going too flexy has the absolute complete, like, wow, it can go off the planet. Where generally speaking, if you go too stiff, what happens is the person gets straighter, but they might lose a bit of distance because the mass is heavier. So yeah, but fast players, stronger players that have got the speed to take on a heavy shaft, yeah, that's generally the profile that people use. I'm going to have to go to the other side here. Where am I? Axel Neeson, what is your setup makeup since you don't use a forehand anymore? So I go 58, 54, 50, pitching wedge to 5, 4, 3 hybrid, and then 3 wood driver. Driver set at 8 degrees, then my 3 woods whacked up as high as it will go, so something like 16.5, 17 degrees, something like that. Then I'll go 20 degrees, and then 24, then obviously MP20 standard lofts all the way through, and then obviously wedges 50, 54, 58. There you go. I've just wasted a video now, haven't I? That's what's in the bag. Done in seconds. There you go. Right, done again. Yep. We got a reply. Most deadly geese. Excellent. I've nearly the same gapping issue. I have a 4 hybrid instead of a 4 iron. I'm decided between a 5 wood, 7 wood, or possibly a 3 hybrid. Golf show this weekend where I live, so I guess just do a gap test. If you can do a gap test when you're there with a decent fitter doing a gap test as well, he can look at options that he's got when it comes to just a round and say, look, this is the kind of idea you're going to need when it comes to lofting if you're going to be trying to fix your gapping. It may mean moving a few golf clubs around here and there, but you're trying to get the maximum effect with the littlest of movement, because you don't have to get used to new golf clubs and stuff. But if you can tweaky, that's why hybrids now are so good, because all hybrids basically, well, most hybrids are adjustable lofted, so you can move them around and dial them up. Or yeah. Tony Glover, thank you, great help you are. Here I come, Zuno. Gary Much, hi GolfNut. Hello mate. Hi Gary. What's your take on KBS PGA shafts, and does the number in them, i.e. 60, 70, 80 on them their weight? I don't know actually. I need to have a look at those ones. I haven't really been up to the old thing when it comes to PGI shafts. Generally speaking, the numbers on them are weight classes. But when it comes to all shafts, and I've fitted, there's tens and tens of options every single fitting that you're going to have. Tens and tens of options just in shaft. So there's not hundreds, because there's not hundreds of shaft, but there is. But under normal circumstances of stock options and even upgrade options. But when you look at the differences between the amount of heads you've got and the shaft, you've got hundreds and hundreds of options that you can do it in. It's the one that fits. I don't care. I'm not a person when it comes to a fitting. As long as someone fits into it, I can give a monkey's what it is. I'm looking for the performance level, I'm looking for that golfer getting the feeling that they want, I'm looking for the golfer to get the dispersion pattern that they want and the understanding of the direction in which their swing goes as well, because I also come at it from a coaching point of view. Try and tick as many boxes as possible. I go in it with no loaded or biased want for them to have any kind of manufacturer or any kind of specific shaft. To me, it's as long as the client gets what they need and what they'd like and what they want, and even at the end of it, if they can't justify or there's no tangible benefit of buying new clubs over their old ones, I'll be the first person to say, well, if you want a set of nice new shiny stuff, there you go. But it's going 2 yards longer and it's no straighter, so I wouldn't personally justify spending 1,100 quid on something. Up to you. You want something shiny, there you go. But I'm honest, so there you go. It either floats people's boats or not. Right, go down. Mark Dennis, hi Jay, could you do a test between the PNG 430 and the 425 9, 7 and 5 wood versus the equivalent hybrid 2, 3 and 4? Yeah, I'd have to get hold of them. That's going to be difficult. That's a lot of golf clubs, and they don't all come when it comes to media samples. So I would have to try and source them externally to be able to do a test on that one. It's a good test. It's just I would need a lot of work for me to try and source golf clubs. Your test between woods and hybrids, it may give people a better idea of the differences. 9 woods are underrated. Woods are underrated anyway. People have this thing of the fact that I've got to use a 2-iron because, yeah, we're all macho, got to use a 2-iron. Really? No. I don't care about that. I want to care about scoring. And all I really care about is necessarily what you can put in your hands which makes you score the best. And if that's anything, it doesn't matter. If it works and your scores are coming down, you're enjoying your golf, there you go. Axel Neeson, going to Herning Golf Show. Don't know where that is, but I live in Washington State, so not quite. A Special K, evening Jay. So 7 wood or hybrid? Been in 2 minds for a while. 7 wood's brilliant. I've got a ping 7 wood around here somewhere, and they're great. They're so versatile. I've had so much success with, especially senior golfers, going towards a 7 wood when their swing speed's starting to come back and they're losing the classic thing, well, this one goes as far as this one does, they all go the same distance. Why is that? Well, because you're not launching it enough. So you haven't got the ball speed anymore to keep propelling that golf ball on that launch angle before gravity has an effect and it starts falling out of the sky. You give them something like a 7 wood with a lower, further back CG and loft as well, they'll start hitting it higher and then start carrying a bit more again, and it's like, whoa. It's just been like, okay, as they get older, it will start dialing back even more. So there's a point of which it doesn't work anymore, like with everything. That's like, I mean, I don't play a 4-iron or a 3-iron in my blades because I don't produce enough speed to be able to hit a 4-iron under normal conditions of flight. I can hit it high as I possibly can do and make it functional, but under normal conditions, it's going in too shallow and I can't stop it on the green properly. Then get the hybrid in, boom, straight away, goes to the moon if you want it to. David Edmonds, I got fitted 8 years ago with the Dynamic Gold S300, nearly 50. Yeah, well, that'll be knocking on the door soon. Is this a bit too heavy and stiff? I don't feel I'm hitting it well anymore. Get tested, bend profile tested. Best thing to do is go on the Swing DNA tool. Swing DNA tool is unbiased, it doesn't care. It will literally just measure you, and as long as the fitter is using the Bluetooth app, you can see it up on the screen. So generally speaking, when I've always done fits, I'll have my iPad, well, all the information, it will be Bluetooth to that, and that is then streamed to a TV. So as the golfer or the client is doing whatever they're doing, it's being shown everywhere. So everything's transparent, it's all up there for people to see, and then you go through what those sets of data mean and stuff like that, and why they need what they need. Now, it might open your eyes a little bit to see what you need or not. I don't know your loading, and I don't know your speeds involved and stuff like that, but yeah, it's a really quick, very quick understanding of how to understand your bend profile very, very quickly, what requirements you've got shaft-wise, and it stops people having a bumper car fit. I mean, we used to do that years ago, bumper car fit. We don't have to do that anymore. Yeah, but right, well, next one. Gabdor Radama, thanks for your information. I've got a, would you like, oh, see, this is, no. Would you like, it's a good time to insert ads. No, go away, YouTube. Drives me insane. Right, sorry. Thanks for your information and entertaining videos. Well, that's subjective. Some people don't think they're entertaining. One question, Mizuno 93 Forge versus 91 Forge, which do you feel is more forgiving and longer? Is it worth upgrade to a 91 Forge and 93 version? Right, okay. What does that say? That says Mizuno. Yeah, what does that say up there? It says Mizuno. Right, so, but again, I'm honest. So, is the 923 Forged worth an upgrade over 921 Forged? In my own eyes, for what I can see a 921 and a 923, no. There you go. Is it improved? Is the 923 Forged improved over 921 Forged? Yes, marginally. So, and Mizuno have said this as well, so I'm not saying anything which is a little bit kind of controversial. I've been done enough controversial at the moment. Hashtag Facebook. Trolls. When it comes to testing the difference between a 921 Forge and 923 Forge, there is a marginal increase in the performance of a 923 Forge over a 921. But it is marginal, and bear in mind you've got a 1 degree loft difference. Now, does it go further? Yes, but relatively the same distance as what that 1 degree would go anyway if you cranked the 921 down to 923. The difference is the 923 goes the same height as the 921, yet going slightly further. So it's technically free distance, but it's marginal. It's small. There's no real difference in forgiveness. There's a marginal difference in forgiveness between 923 Forge and 921 Forge. 923 is fractionally more, but it is fractions. But Mizuno have said themselves, when it comes to needle pushing, sometimes you jump and sometimes you push it. They've said themselves that the 923 Forge is a push of a nudge of a needle than it is anything kind of miraculous. The hot metal series for me is this, and the Tour, must admit, the Tour with that copper underlay for that kind of player is lovely now. But the 923 hot metals are the standout one because they have definitely skipped a little bit. The efficiency of those faces, how springy they are, the ball speed you can get from one of those, and them adding the HL, the high loft one in there for the slower swingers. I have done a video on the hot metal high launch and the Tour, all 7 irons, and done at 75 miles an hour and done at 90 miles an hour, and to show you the differences. And I've got that to edit. That's already been done, but I just need to edit it. But that's an interesting one, and it shows the differences. What happens is when you take speed out, and what happens is to flight and stuff like that. But yeah, that's coming later on. David Evans, evening, by the way. Evening, sir. Azrak, is it strange? I've been playing 2 years. I'm 17 handicap. I'd go back to 18 handicap if I could. Start it all again, and I didn't do golf at all. I'd be 18 handicap. 18 handicap was a lovely handicap. I've tried every Mizuno model in that time and hit the 921 Tour and 923 Pro the best. I'm not very good with game improvement irons. Seems weird. No, it's not. Absolutely not. I've done this test over years, and it's very, very true. You get a high handicap golfer, 28. Now you can have it a billion. I don't know with the new handicap system. If you give them game improvement iron in the idea of obviously making them a bit more forgiving and stuff like that, and it would help, and it will work. However, if you're looking at consistency of strike, if you give them a blade, like a really small, like a blueprint, a ping blueprint, which is tiny, and you get them to hit that, first thing their brain goes, that's small, and they focus their mind. And their strike consistency, their spray of the face reduces like ridiculously, because and I have a similar thing when I'm testing game improvement irons, no different to this Stealth HD round thing that I've got. That'll come very, very soon. It's a game improvement iron, so you can just close your eyes a little bit and swing. Where if you go to a blade, yeah, your eyes, your kind of your bum goes 50p, 5p, 50p, 5p, because you don't want to thin it and fuzz your fingers. Yeah, it helps focus your mind. What's the next one? It's also clear I need to stop buying irons. Well, this is true, but then again, if you've got the money and you enjoy it and it's your thing, why not? I mean, everyone has to have an out as best they can do, and if golf is your out and you like buying stuff and you can justify doing it and you're not putting yourself in debt and stuff like that, then, and the missus doesn't mind too much, by all means, do what you wish. It's absolutely fine. You're not hurting anyone. I'm a bear, okay. I'm a bear. I just got fit into a TSR2 driver shortly after watching your video on how shafts don't affect you. Does length affect your strike action on driver? Yes. I went down to 45 inches, improved strike a lot. Yes, my driver, so I've just done, as you can possibly tell, it's been up today, the Stealth 2. I struggle with that. Niels Axel, right, thank you, Niels. Thanks for not inserting ads. Thank you, mate, I appreciate it. Niels, I'm gonna skip a couple, I'm gonna get straight to you, because one, thank you very much for literally just donating that. I've just noticed that. Thank you very much for doing that. I do appreciate it massively. And also to the email that you sent to me at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I think it was, and I read it. I've been up for like, what, 18 hours already? Yeah. I do some weird hours. Really good email, by that way, and thank you very much for the amount of time it must have took you to I've already got a NAS, but I am looking at Unraid as well. So Niels, thank you very much for the email, and I need to talk to you about it rather than, because the email will just be forever. But thank you very much anyway, and thank you very much for just dropping that. I really do appreciate that. Obviously, ads, YouTube is a thing. It has ads, you can't really help it. I mean, obviously, I don't do this for free, but it's, when someone chooses to give a small donation to sort of like support the channel and stuff like that, that means so much to me when it comes to people doing that and supporting the channel. General people having to watch an ad, well, all videos that you watch on YouTube, you have to watch an ad. But when people do that, that warms my heart, that does. Right. So Gary Much, thanks for that info. I was going for a fitting a couple of weeks ago. I have P790s with steel fibre shafts, but not sure if I'm getting the best feel of them. Great job, and keep the videos coming. Cheers, Gary, appreciate it. Dominic Delfino, Jay, I have an 80-mile-an-hour 7-iron swing, playing graphite shafts at 95 grams. Would I benefit from steel shafts at the same weight? You are on the cusp at 80 miles an hour. If you were to keep everything kind of within reason, bland when it comes to your loading, you would be, generally speaking, in a lightweight steel. But then that all depends. You could offend the shaft in different ways or not offend the shaft in different ways, which would push you different places. Really need to go get on the old swing DNA optimizer shaft analyzer tool, and then it'll take all the question marks out. It will give you the reasons why that you need to be where you are, and then you can test different ones. And then again, it's a two-way conversation. Just because I say as a fitter, you need to be there, or that's what the computer says, it's then for me to look at you, have a little chat, and then say, well, you're wanting this, we want this. Well, this is a similar bend profile, but it's a little bit like this and a little bit like that. And it's a two-way conversation. Right, Niels, Ben, what we got? Well, will you be doing the Swing DNA walkthrough at some point? Will be. I'm looking at it a slight different way. I would love to see if I can get Mizuno on board with it. Now, I am not paid by Mizuno. I choose to have Mizuno. I love the brand because I've loved the brand since I was younger and played their irons when I was a junior. But I have a very strong opinion on being neutral and being unbiased. I've got my concerns about certain parts of the stuff in the past, and I've said quite openly that I hated the old Mizuno EZ, that black thing. Couldn't stand it, that old black and orange. How fugly was that? Right, but that's an opinion. A lot of people like the EZ. I just was not one of them at all. Right, but yeah, I'd love to get Mizuno involved in that one, because that would be a really good thing. And I'd love to get the Vosh. Chris Vosh is a lovely guy. Very, very technical. Obviously, he's a stick of rock. If you were to snap him in half, he does say Mizuno inside. So you have to take a little bit, and he's brilliant. He really, really is such a knowledgeable guy and such a really nice guy as well. It'd be really nice to get his view on the Swing DNA from a raw knowledge perspective as well. Ian, most people don't have enough speed to use a 3-wood properly. You're absolutely right there. Not had a 3-wood 15 years, 4-wood, 7-wood or 3 hybrid. I know I swing a 3-wood around about 108 miles an hour, and even I dial the old girl up in loft as much as I possibly can. Yeah, Chris Johnson, hi, I've been testing G430 LS Tech. Good head. That's carbon wrap, makes it's the best feeling G430, definitely. Like the Torchrome shaft, however, launch seems a little inconsistent. Would that be a flex issue or more shaft? Okay, would it be? It could be a shaft issue. It could, because the shaft issue, if it's not the right bend profile for you, your brain is having to just find it. You're having to constantly, well, you're not feeling it, but you're constantly you're hunting for it. Change the shaft, it can change your feeling, but bear in mind feelings change all the time. So you might find something, if you're in a fitting and you're going shaft, 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 and you're looking at big changes, shaft, 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 feelings change every day. And so you find something that day, on that day particular, that fits it there. Tomorrow, it may change. Head will always trump certain things when it comes to dynamics, but you've got to get a mixture of both. You've got to get a married to spec to make sure it all works as a whole. If not, you're just going to be hunting constantly. Right, Rob S. When does it make sense to strengthen static loft to increase angle of descent through the ball? When does it make sense to strengthen static loft to increase angle of descent through ball speed? Sorry, yeah, descent angle. Sorry, angle of descent. Got it while I'm thinking, right? Let me digest that one. When does it make sense to strengthen static loft to increase angle of descent through ball speed? It doesn't. So, if you were to just strengthen something, oh, hello, Ian, Robert, I'll get to you. I had 2, by the way, Ian. And that's not simulator ones, they're real ones. They're real ones. Hi Jay, it's Martin broke my back years ago. Is there any way I can get more height with my stealth irons? I've got my speed up to around 80 miles an hour. Good, with 7 iron. Any suggestions? Not set up the sim room. Yeah, that's one way of doing it. Martin, first of all, thank you very, very, very much. I will skip to your message straight away, just on the basis of that that's so much more than that anyone could expect. Thank you very much for that. I do get a little bit heart-warmed, and the wife nicknames me Data, because I don't react to much when it comes to that, unless you're on Facebook and you're trolling me. I'll keep going on about it. So, is there a way you can get more height with your stealth irons? Yes. Right. Martin, reach out to me on Instagram, because I can't answer your question with the very limited information we've got. If you've got information about your delivery, I'm more than happy. Let's have a conversation via Instagram. We'll do an Instagram call or something like that. And or Facebook, you can reach out through Facebook, doesn't matter, one of the two things. And we'll get either a video chat, or we'll get just a phone call or something like that to sort out, because obviously there's a lot of information to go through there, and I would like to be able to give you a properly good answer, bearing in mind of your very, very kind donation. So definitely I want to be able to answer you in full and not give you a very bland answer. Definitely suggestions, but I need to know the rest of how you do things to be able to give you the right information. And also, answers so helpful, love the vids. I think I'm gonna have to try the i230, can't help myself. Remember, there's lots of us that love what you do, pal. Thank you very, very much. That's lovely. Thank you very much. £5 or £4.99. That's lovely. I do say that does. I'm not going to shed one, but it does make a. Yeah, it does. People have to watch ads. Of course they do. It's just YouTube as part of the business, I guess. But the fact when people donate, that is really nice of them. So I think I'm up to date. Am I up to date? Come on, I'm up to date. Look at that. There we go. Hoorah! Oh, question. Okay, so the people that are watching, I've got a question to ask. Right. Now there's, I'm gonna, right, these things. Yeah, copper-headed MP20s. Lovely these things are, right? However, I want to try and mount them, and I want to try and mount them in a case. Now, again, the case I'll just flick over so I can mess around with OBS. Right, that's in the top hand right, top right. I've said this once before, but I don't. That's my LED case where my copper heads are going to go in, because I mean these things are collector's items. They really are. They're lovely things. They are. However, because of I'm not going to put shafts in them. I'm just going to leave them head only like that. I'm looking for something that I can put in there and basically attach to the back part of that, so they just sit there like this, or actually from as you see it like that. Show me which way round you want the heads mounting. I would like them sort of like dirt like that kind of idea, but it kind of needs something like a little L hook, so something to screw in this way, but it has like a 90 degree and it goes in that hole. There you go. Originally, I did think about, they've got like shop fittings when it comes to custom fitting. They have like those little pegs which you put the custom fit heads on, but they're made for custom fit heads, and the main base part of it is just too big, and these things won't fit in, which is a bit of a pain. Wooden dowels in a block could do. I'd have to spray then the wooden block the same color, and plus as well, what I wanted to try and do is I wanted to try and, if I was to put them side by side by side, I'd risk one kind of blocking the other one, because I don't have enough room for 8, because I've got 3 to pitching wedge. I don't have enough room, but yeah. Some with a 3D printer could probably help with that mount. Wow, could you imagine the time that would take to do that? I've always wanted to mess around with a 3D printer. Make a golf club and hit it and make it explode. Do a review of that one. But yeah, so anyone who's got an idea on that one, there you go. That's my little kind of issue that I've got to, well, YouTube drink. I'm drinking mouthwash, or for the people who know what this is. Right, so. Questions about anything else? Whew, what's time? 7 minutes past. Tony commented, what is 8 PM UK time compared to USA? It's a very good question. I don't know. I'm terrible. I had John ask a question. I was up for early this morning, and he was in Brisbane. I was trying to get everything sorted like quickly so I could have a chat to him about something. Yeah, the technology wasn't working, but I forget sometimes that obviously YouTube is all the way around the world, and it's definitely what we call, yeah, it's crazy when you're talking to someone and you know the time that you are, and then you're talking to someone across the globe. Adam, hello Adam, are you close to London? I am going to London in May and want to play some courses of of people I follow. I'm fairly close to London. It depends. If you're in Australia, Japan, I'm really close to London. I'm about 85 miles, I suppose, not as the crow flies, but as a road would go. So about hour and a half-ish, give or take. There you go, from London. There you go. In May, I don't play golf enough. I said, oh, hitting desks. There you go. Hang on, bear with. The problem with boas, you know, with shoelaces rather than shoelaces, you get a bit lazy, and then what happens is when you don't put your shoes up properly and you hit them and you basically mess your boas up, and you can actually get your laces, the boa strings, tangled, and you thread your own feet together. Always do your shoelaces up, guys. There you go. Natla, hi Jay, they do an L-shaped screw threaded bracket that may work for putting those heads into, oh, do they? L-shaped screw. That might be interesting. Yeah, I'll send a pic of an idea on Insta or Facebook. I've got woodworking shop, some nice stained ash with clear. Oh, now you're talking. I'm a little bit. See, I love oak. I'm a lover of oak. I've worked a lot when it comes. I do a lot of my own DIY. I built my own studio. I do lots of stuff. I love doing stuff like that. I don't love it, but I've just got a knack for doing it. So why pay someone else to do something which you can do yourself as a project, and then you can then spend your own time looking at OCD stuff and going, oh yeah. Anyway, Eric, I'm a 7-wood player but prefer a deeper face in the ping 3 woods. Yes, especially out of the rough or off the tee, a long par 3, lefty, so options are limited. Bummer, yeah. What brands, models would you look at? Okay, so firstly, people need to understand the difference between, there's different designs. There's 2 main design differences between hybrids, with hybrids and fairway woods. And they kind of run alongside this design of, golf club. As in, that is an iron, if I can get it straight, with not in, oh, I don't know, I'm terrible at anyway. That is an iron, although that is not, because it's basically a hybrid iron. You see the curve on the bottom? Yeah, how rounded it is. That'd be brilliant out of the rough. On a fairway though, that's going to be interesting and no different when it comes to a fairway wood and hybrids. So the main difference when it comes to design of those is you get the ones with flat soles, yeah, and you get ones with curved bottoms. The curved bottoms would work really good out of rough because it will cut through the rough as such. When it comes to the flat bottoms, they're really good for fairway, because if you've got a tight fairway and you hit the ground a fraction before, that massive flat sole acts as like a buffer, a bounce, like an upside down spoiler, and it basically glides the golf club across the ground and give you a chance of hitting a decent shot. If you do the exact same shot, slightly groundy first, with a curved bottomed hybrid or fairway wood, you will chunk the living daylights out of it. But then also conversely, that flat soled fairway wood, if you take that to the rough, it won't work as well as the curved one. So there is a little bit of a robbing Peter to pay Paul, but it all depends what kind of requirement you have, depending on the angle of attack that you do and all stuff like that. So again, if you go to a fitter who's worth their salt, they will be able to explain differences in this and differences in that. When it comes to what brands I would go for, Ping are really good for a brand when it comes to that. You're going to have to look, because you're a lefty, you're going to have to look at the main ones. You're going to have to look at them because of the options. The bigger the brands, the bigger the options for lefties, unfortunately. It's a pain in the backside when it comes to lefty. I am myself left-handed. I betrayed you guys, and I do apologise, because as a young one, I decided that, hang on a minute, I'm playing golf right-handed. I'm so glad I did. So anything one-handed, I will use my lefty, even though it's supposed right on. Yeah, it doesn't matter. This is my left hand, as you can see. But when it comes to two hands, anything two-handed, I will go right-handed. And I have an 8-finger and 2-thumb grip. Not a 10-finger grip, because these are 2 thumbs. It's not a baseball grip, because I don't hold it like that. There you go. Martins, you've just done it again. Thank you very much. I just noticed you, Martins, you've just donated again, £5. Thanks, Joe. We'll catch you on Instagram for the chat. Would you use copper pipe clips for your display case? Copper pipe clips. Oh, what the? Well, okay. So without boring the living daylights out of people, when it comes to the 221s that I'm putting in there, so I've got 221s, shiny 221s to go in, and the cropper's going to go underneath. I've got 2 types of, I think they're called Terry clips. Yeah, these things. That's for the grip, and they're going to go down like that, and then obviously the golf club's at the bottom. And I've got another one for the shaft, which is smaller than this. But yeah, that's sorted. That's good. But I can't find really anything. I mean, I could, I suppose, use if I got a smaller one. Of course, I got a smaller one. There's always smaller ones. You just never can find them, can you? There we go. Little tiny one. Look, it's a little ditty one. Yeah. I suppose you could clip it round there some way and hold it up. But I'd be paranoid about scratching the copper. I don't know, options, there you go. Yeah, it'd be really good to chat anyway, it really would do mine. Most Deadly Geist. Just got done watching the shaft video you just released. Great info. I now wonder if it's all about the weight rather than the shaft. Yeah, unfortunately, you took it the right way. There's a certain few people that didn't and then decided that they want to troll the Facebook craziness and then just go off on one and call me a liar and everything else like that. And that's one thing. I can't stand being called lazy, and I can't stand being called basically a liar. I am extremely honest. I have a very, very strong moral compass when it comes to doing what I do. I do this. I started YouTube on the basis that I didn't want to be everybody else. I didn't want to just hunt for money. I just didn't want to hunt for just putting rubbish out there to get clicks. Click away, get some money, get some money. I'm fortunate enough, I'm in a situation of where I can do this from a purist point of view to give you guys the absolute best information I possibly can. I don't know everything. I try as best I can do to learn as much as I can do to give everyone as much information as and I'm from a science-ish background as well, so I'm using physics and stuff like that in my head. Of course it is, yeah, so I'm doing it from an educated side, but I don't know everything. So if someone can come up with something, can explain something to me which can educate me in a way which I can understand better, well, that will only ever do golf better, because I will then regurgitate that to you guys and then everyone learns. I don't understand why we have to be so really just poisonous about it. Really, yeah, I don't get it. I now wonder if it's all about the weight rather than the shaft. It's both bend profile, weight, and everything. If you're shaft sensitive, which vast majority of golfers are, it's important to get everything. So again, I keep saying it, get on the Swing DNA Analyzer tool, because it's just really quick. It's like 3 swings within reason, and then you've got an understanding of the direction in which you need to go. It makes so much sense to be able to do it that way rather than just go boom, bumper car fit. We'll try you on this shaft. Oh, no, you don't like that one. Let's go try on this shaft. It's completely opposite. Oh, no, you don't like that one either. We'll move this way a little bit, and dun, 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 dun. You get there in the end, but it just, yeah, why do that? By that point, you've got so fed up testing the head. I don't like this. Well, you would have done if you had the right shaft in to start with. Ian, is a flat sole fairway like ping better than a rounded sole on slopes? Is a flat sole like ping better than a rounded sole on slopes? It depends, basically. So on a fairway, I would say absolutely, yeah. I would go for a flat sole all day long on fairway if you're going to take it out of rough. So as a golden little bit of snippet rule, depending on the golfer and stuff like that, I would say this: flat soled for fairway and more rounded soled for hybrids. People really shouldn't be hitting their 3-wood out the rough. Really, guys, you shouldn't. Yeah, it's for like that's for Tiger, Rory, those guys with massive guns that can create that much speed and stability through impact that they can use it. Most people are going to be using, say, like a 4 or 5 hybrid out of the rough, and it's ideal. And if you've got a curved bottom to it, it will cut through it better and stuff like that. So yeah. I'm unaware of the Facebook trolls. Sorry if I come across as one. Love your content. Most Deadly Geist, what are you on? Don't know what. Are you the same on Facebook? I won't say the guy's name, because the guy's name on there, oh no, I won't say his name. There's no point in be itchy about it. But yeah, he's really, yeah. Especially when I'm trying my best. He requested the video, and I took time out of what I'm doing to answer a question honestly about it, and then even when I'd done it, he then moaned. Baby LJ, I just put a 54 58s 23 wedges in the bag and look fatter. They are, whether the chrome ones or whether the copper cobalt. That's the question. A special K. Okay. Thank you. Wow. that comes up in red. Everyone can see that. From the bottom of my stone cold, data like heart, as the wife says, thank you. That does mean that, yeah, thank you. I'm not gonna, no, I'll just tear up. I mean, no, but thank you, honestly. I really do appreciate that, mate. That means an absolute awful lot. What shaft did the DNA pick for you, bud? I'm a KBS Tour X, personally. I don't use that because personally for me, when I'm playing golf, I prefer not to swing 130 gram weight around. Now I'm lucky, obviously I swing my golf clubs less than most, but I still, yeah, I mean, that's just too much weight. So I go to a dollar taper 120 stiff. YouTube, itchy nose, there you go. Yeah, so I go dollar taper 120 stiff, which is basically exactly the same bend profile as, oh, my friend's messaging me, John. Hard day, mate. 2 fence panels to do. There you go. Update. I'll message you back in a bit, John. So, what was going on about? Can't remember now. Oh yeah. So, but yeah, the tour stiff and the KBS tour stiff and the dollar taper stiff 120. They're basically exactly the same bend profile. I don't really understand why KBS make one or the other, because they do the exact same thing. Even if you look at the eye curves, they're so ridiculously close. Right, Mosey, I'm totally going to try the swing DNA this weekend. Really curious what it will show. I currently use Honma and their Visage shafts. When you go, make sure you go somewhere who they know. I have known, and I won't say who they are because it's not those point fingers time. But it frustrates me from a Mizuno point of view of fitting. I don't care if it's Mizuno. I use the Swing DNA tool for regardless of whoever it is, because it is that good. You can then just transpose that into a ping within reason and stuff like that. It gives you a really good way to go, first of all. What I can't stand is when other accounts that have got Swing DNA, they don't even use it. They do the classic thing of, oh yeah, well, here you go, try this one, mate. Now, what do you think of that one? That's a really good shaft, yeah. That for you, with your swing speed and how you're loading it and stuff like that, I can see in your transition at the top, you're gonna need something like this. So get this one in here. This is definitely gonna be, it's either gonna be the one, or there might be one after this one, but I'm pretty certain this is gonna, you kind of get that, and you think, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. I see a lot of data, I'm looking at, I haven't got a clue. I'll do a guess and see how close I get. But come on, people. Right, Martavar, you're far from lazy. Thank you. How anyone can troll you, it bugs me. Think you're the best tuber on here, so take it with a pinch of salt, mate. I try to, but when someone's directly questioning your honesty, and when I pride myself on what I'm doing, I know a couple of the YouTubers and I know what kind of people they are. Finchy's a lovely guy. He's just really nice. I do like Pete. But there are some which are just basically doing it absolutely, completely for the money. They don't care within reason what kind of content they put out there, and they're just trying to make it and stuff like that. And because YouTube can be quite a lucrative thing. It can. Let's be honest, it can. I just don't prescribe to doing it in a way which is counter to what I perceive as my morals and the way I want to do it. And I know that might focus my view count and that might focus my audience. But I would love to get bigger. Of course I would do. Everyone would do. I would love to be the Rick Shields of things, like with 2 point whatever million subscribers. But I won't, because of the way I do it. There you go. Similar to Mark, Mr. Crossfield. I mean, I like Mark, but he was the biggest YouTuber for a long time, and then he got overtaken by Rick. But Mark hasn't really grown as fast. He grew quick to start with, and then leveled off, and he continues to just grow fractionally and stuff like that. But it's just the way, because he does things the way he does it in a certain way. And he's got his personality he's got. I quite like his personality, but it's, yeah, so it is the way it is. Bayo Bengal, Copper, come on, good choice. Put the SM9s in the closet. SM9s are a good wedge. They are a good wedge, I won't lie, they are a good wedge. Abstract, that's what they did at Scottsdale for my fitting. No swing DNA. Okay, it was too soft to question it. Should have done. I don't see, I actively, so when I meet someone for the first time, whether it's a YouTube thing, whether it's a subscriber come from for a fitting or wherever it was, or it's just someone off the street, I want to get fit for a set of golf clubs, please. I have the conversation with them. It's a two-way thing. You're going to get more out of this fitting if this is an open and fluent transmission of two-way conversation. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to get to. If there's a question, ask it. There is no daft question. Well, there's probably daft questions, but I don't care, because if you need to learn something to then understand, have access to a complete different direction about understanding how your golf is going to be, or how your swing is, or why you need what you need, just ask it. And if you think I'm wrong, question it. Okay, don't call me youth. There's no point in doing that. What I'm saying is, if you think I'm wrong, by all means ask a question. And do you know what? If I haven't explained myself well enough for you to understand what I'm saying, that's my fault, not yours. I need to do it better. But I know I can only know that if we have that two-way conversation. So yeah, always have a open and honest, frank discussion conversation with the fit, and lessons no different. Lee Clements, hello Lee. I think of changing driver for my Ping 410 to the new Mizuno. Would this be a gain? Distance-wise, definitely. If it's fit correctly, definitely. Forgiveness will be an interesting one, because the 230 is forgiving, but Pings are the daddies when it comes to forgiving. They're not the daddies when it comes to distance, because they're the daddies of being forgiving. Ping, basically, as I always sort of said, when Ping don't want to be the longest, they do want to be the longest overall, taking in miss hits and everything into account. When you go to a lot of fittings, basically it's a case of, we'll just delete that, we'll delete that, we'll delete that one. So that your shot was going 250 yards. Well, yeah, one did, but the other ones have gone 192. Because they've concentrate on the middle one. No. But yeah, so test it. Definitely get somewhere where you can test them. There was obviously Mizuno got quite a few shafts, many more than Ping to test. So yeah, definitely go for fitting, and then see how you get on. Class Grooves, do you have an ideal spin to loft number or ratio for irons, or spin to descent angle? I've seen a lot of GI irons reviews where the reviewer says the spin is low, but they are basing that on the iron number. True, yeah. So effectively, if you were to rub out the numbers, and was it Ben Hogan was doing the similar thing? They were just basically just putting lofts on the bottoms and stuff at one point, which is good. You stop focusing on what a 7-iron is, and you just start on the loft. I have an ideal. I look at spin's an interesting thing. So I don't like seeing spin numbers for 7-irons, even power bat 7-irons, go into the 4000s. If you're going into 4000s, then you're going to have a problem. Because everything on a golf course, apart from a fairway bunker, every condition is designed to take spin off the golf ball. Be it a blade of grass, a bit of mud, or whatever gets stuck between the face and all that lot, it's taking spin off the golf ball. So you don't want to be going in when it comes to a fitting trying to hunt baseline low spin to try and gain as much distance as you can, because you go on the golf course and you're going to suffer. So having a slightly higher spin profile is good. There's no problem. I mean, I've always said, when you have, I say, like, let's call it nice easy numbers. If you have a 10,000 RPM, yeah, and you're going to take 1,000 off because of interaction with blade of grass, that's 10% your spin has gone. So 10% change in flight potential because of the spin profile's changed by 10% from that 1,000. If you have a spin of 4,000 and you take 1,000 off, that's now 25% of your spin, which is a completely different number when it comes to your consistency of flight. So I like to see game improvement irons in general as close to 45 degrees as I can. Of course, that is speed related as well, because obviously if you're looking at people speed-wise, it's difficult because not everyone has the speed to be able to be descending into the green at 45 degrees and stuff like that. So you have to work with the individual. But I try and hit I'm looking for as high peak height as I possibly can. I'm looking for as much distance as I possibly can. I'm looking for as much spins as I possibly can, and blah, blah, blah. There is going to be a balance to that. and just hunting distance is not the thing. You hunt distance definitely, absolutely, but you do it with absolute functionality in mind. And you have to be honest with the person when you're doing that. Because if not, sometimes even the client just gets fixated with distance. Give me that club. Boof, look how far that's gone. Yeah, but it's gone in like this. Good luck at trying to like control that on the other end. It's going a missile. Oh, here we go. Minnesota weather report. Snow storm fizzled. We only got 14 inches of snow, not the 22 predicted. Well, from what I understand, the other 8 are coming here. We have beast from the east. Apparently, it's on the news. That won't happen. I'd say that, and we can be snowed in by an inch of snow. You know what the UK's like. UK's brilliant. Minnesota, right? Tell you got 14 inches of snow. The roads will still be, transport will still be going. Trains, planes, no problem. They'll be fine. An inch of snow, and all heck breaks loose. It's hilarious. Right. Bayunga Bengal, so Jay, do you recommend the same shafts in your wedges as in your irons? I have Project X LS 6.0, very stiff on the butt. And LS in my JPX 93 forge, and S400 Taurus shoe in my wedges, and I prefer heavy feel in my wedges. Absolutely perfect then. I prefer consistency all the way through because I don't really care, and the reason why I prefer consistency all the way through because I'm a little bit of a weirdo and I like to see the same all the way through. But that's just my OCD popping its and rearing its head every so often. But no, I've got no issue whatsoever if you want to have a different weight, a different bend profile in your wedges. A lot of people do have heavier wedges, and now it depends on obviously what I mean, LS 6.0, that's already fairly stiff anyway. Very stiff on the butt section and LS. But absolutely, you just go with whatever you want to, get what feels right. There you go, job done. Par maker, are you? We all like to be par makers. Birdie machines, that's what we want. Not par makers, birdie machines. You said last week you don't like bending clubs, just change loft. Question, is there therefore, how do Mizuno offer power standard and retro lofts? No, Mizuno don't really do that. Do they not just bend from standard? Okay, so Mizuno offer loft adjustment. Yes, they do, within a certain criteria. And the cast criteria are vastly reduced because obviously the fact that you can hardly bend. I'll be honest, because of the fact that, yeah, that's right, I know he means ping, but there you go. I will never bend a cast golf club. I didn't want the responsibility of it going tink and then you got shaft in one hand and head in the other. That is a conversation about saying, oh, it's a manufacturer defect. The manufacturer will go, well, you didn't bring it back here and you did it. And so, yeah. I always, whenever I had anyone come in and say, look, can I just check my this, do a session, check. Yeah, these need changing, tweak. And I will always send them back to the manufacturer, because if the manufacturer breaks them, it's their responsibility to replace them. And they will do it. And if they haven't got one of your model, they'll give you a new one. So if you think in any way, shape or form that your golf club's going to get broken, then send them back to the manufacturer because you might get a new set of golf clubs out of it. No, that's a bit dishonest. I'm only joking, but effectively that's what happens. But Ping do that. So Ping will bend the living because you can. On that little notch out the back, that fugly notch that I call it, and it is, but it's a wondrous piece of equipment, a little technology, basically just honing out the back of it's brilliant, really is. It enables them to bend and lie, and it's crazy, and it's brilliant. It really, really is. For the beginner golfer that is not great and has their handle too high and all this thing, having a golf club which can be bent to suit more so where you are and also re-bent as the time goes on, and bend as much as you like, you can smack these things around. And if you ever get a chance to go to the Ping facility and watch how the guy bends these golf clubs, he just basically puts it in a vise, gets a mallet and smacks the out of something, and he goes bang, and because he looks at his, this needs 3 degrees upright, does it? Okay, whack, puts it on the thing, 2.8. How the heck did you know how hard to hit that to do that? He's good. He's good. So yeah, I'm not a great fan of changing loft when it comes to things. Why? Because a golf club is designed with its center of gravity, its bounce, and everything else like that to work a certain way at the loft that it's got. You can tweak, you can just bend loft if you want, but unless you're moving center of gravity lower and further back to counteract, you're just going to get that ball going faster. Yeah, but it's just going to go lower. If you want distance, bend them, by all means. I'm not saying you're wrong, it's just that I'm also looking at functionality of flight and then the ability for you to be able to control it or have any kind of understanding what happens when it actually gets to its end and it just disappears out the back. But yeah, Palmaker might be ping, same question though. Yeah, keep up the good work, don't let the grind you down. I know I should do. YouTube are brilliant. Do you know what? I've been doing YouTube now for years, on and off. It's only recently in the last sort of like 5 months or so that I've actually been doing it like properly, I would say. But you get the occasional one on, I mean, I'm not a great fan. I don't like swearing on the channel when it comes to the comments and stuff, because I don't know who's going to be watching it, and I don't know I mean, I've got my analytics of who sees my content and stuff, so I know generally speaking the age ranges, but I don't necessarily like it purely because if you and I are having a conversation between us, yeah, there's SF and Jeff if you want to, I don't mind, right? But from a point of view of just everybody, I try not to, I don't like swearing too much on the channel, so if someone has a swear like fest, I will just remove the comment. And if someone's just being nasty, I'll remove the comment as well. Most of the, you know, if you've asked a honest question, I'm happy to get involved. I try and answer as many questions as I possibly can. And I can't obviously reply to every single person. I have thought about doing things like, well, I have thought about doing things like memberships, and so like £1.99 a month or whatever it is, I don't know, I need to look into it, and effectively giving the people that have become members to AskGolfNut absolute, and then you get all your comments answered without fail, or this, I know. It's just that, because I want to try as best I can do to give as much as I can. But yeah, I try as best I can do. So even like I'm trying to get through as many as I can. Right, class screw, sorry. Is the hot face flyer problem a myth when it comes to modern? I'm trying to decide between G4 and an I210, and trying to convince myself that I210 will be more consistent. It will. If you measure the difference, so you've got. All right, without breaking the YouTube rule of discussing a video that you haven't yet posted. That's coming up later. This iron, the Stealth HD, Stealth 2 HD, whatever you want to call it, yeah? That is an interesting golf club, like a really interesting golf club. It is one of the most forgiving golf clubs I have ever used, but it does it in a very unique way. Now, out of the middle, it's not as springy as I was expecting, nowhere near. But that also then means the retention of the speed that you have across the face is so much better. So where normally a golf club of that kind of design, of that kind of loft, will reach in whatever it is on the efficiency number, because it doesn't, when you move, it's like they've intentionally made the middle less springy and made the outside as springy as they were going to be anyway. So it's an interesting way of going about it. It's quite actually honest for TaylorMade. And I'm not saying they're a dishonest company at all, but you know, I'm joking around the whole idea of what TaylorMade have done and they've been like in the past. So yeah, it's a very good golf club. It just looks ugly, but yeah. I210 will be more consistent. Bivanth, yeah. 921 Tour currently, is the 923 Tour performance gains or just feel? Feel. No difference. I'll be honest, there's no difference. 921 Tour and 923 Tour, there's so little in technology. I mean, it's just a slab of metal, but now it's got copper in it, so now it does feel different. The 921 felt fine, absolutely fine, no problems whatsoever, but you add copper to that mix, Mizuno had to, without, I mean, any Mizuno fans that can do timelines and stuff like that. So basically, I think MP5 was their last proper old school forging before they went to HD. And as soon as they went HD, they changed the forging in a way which meant their faces got harder. So MP18 was actually quite a harsh blade. As we're talking, let's say blades, because obviously it's the purest one, the one that's going to be the nicest feeling. But actually MP18 was a little bit harsher because of the HD forging process. Mizuno took that on board, and then on MP20, copper underlay. And in the copper underlay brought back that feeling of, well, it's sound, it's acoustics. I've done tests before when I've put ear defenders over my ears and I'm hitting all types of shit. I can't feel it. I can't hear it. It's that. That is 90% of what people perceive as feel. These pick up vibration and stuff like that. Yes, of course they would. So if you hit one low on the face, you're going to fuzz your fingers. Yes, but these are the most important things when it comes to understanding feel. You block off your ears, ear defenders, feel just goes muted completely. Golf with 95 mile driver, swing speed, 60 years old, and want a fairway finder driver. Is there a spin RPM range I should stay within? 90-95, if you can keep within about sort of 15 degrees and spinning around about 2.4, 2.3. Because you've got to be careful. I mean, you're looking about probably about a 140, 130 something ball speed number, so you've got to try and keep spin on it. Obviously spin will keep the ball in the air and stuff like that, but you want to make sure that you're trying to be as efficient as possible. Now this, I'd need to know your delivery dynamics, what your angles of attack are, what your delivered loft is, what your path and face angles and what your strike pattern is, to be able to give you like a proper, but send that through. I'll definitely be able to give you a little bit more help on that one. Mark, hi Jay. Why is there a difference in smash factor between Doppler radar and optical systems? Glad you asked. So, here we go. How many people want to go to sleep? Put your hand up if you want help going to sleep. It is 20 to 9, so I will stop this soon anyway because I wanted to do a quick one tonight. I'll stop at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock we'll finish. 9 o'clock we'll finish. Right. So, right. So basically they capture at different points. When you talk about, let's do Doppler first, let's do radar-based systems. So radar-based systems capture the information that they show you on screen at the point of maximum compression. That maximum compression, I cannot stand the word compression because the ball does not compress. There is no such thing as ball compression. The ball deforms. Compression is two opposing forces. Yeah, kind of got that there. Where's the other opposing force? The air? Well, there is a point of saying that the faster you move through air, air becomes a soup rather than air and stuff like that. But so there's only one force. So the ball's being deformed by a single force. So a Doppler will pick the information up at the point of maximum deformation. Yep, okay. So, by the point of maximum deformation, that ball has already, obviously that's got inertia, that does not want to move, and then this golf club comes along and smacks it. That ball will take speed, velocity out of the head. And by doing so, you artificially reduce the head speed fractionally, and so you'll get ball speed out, you'll get that head speed measured at maximum deformation, and so then you'll get a larger smash factor because a radar-based system is different to a camera-based system, because a camera-based system has that information given up on the screen at the point of first touch, 1 frame back. So before any disruption to head dynamics through twist or anything that's happened like that through strike, or any kind of anything else like that, as soon as that ball makes the first tiniest change in either rotation or shape, because the quad, in instance when it comes to the camera-based systems that are that good, they are tracking dots and tracking the outline perimeter of that golf ball. And as soon as that golf ball moves in any way, shape or form, even if it's not moved, it's just the back end got pressed in, deformed by the club face, 1 frame back. That's how it does it. That's why you get a slightly slower on a radar system, slightly higher on a radar system, and a slightly lower one on a camera-based system. There you go. So that took 3 minutes to make I don't know how many people fall asleep. I've got a 3-year-old, and that's what I do. I mean, I send her off. When she wakes up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I just talk to her about Smash Factor and stuff, and she's gone. Gary, membership is a great way to go. Sign me up ASAP, get rid of all the unwanted keyboard warriors. So I was thinking about doing memberships for live streams would be great. So like doing tell me if this is way out, but obviously comment below. Whoever's watching, if you can, comment below, what do you think about memberships? When I say membership, I'm not saying about 500 quid a month and you didn't know. I'm thinking like £2, yeah? £1.99, whatever it would be, I don't know. I ain't even looked at it, I mean, it's just an idea. And I can then say to all the memberships, anyone who wants to be a member, stuff like that, you get dedicated live streams like this, and I will do live streams for members only. So you want to answer your questions and stuff like that, and do that, and I will then put it out, that kind of idea. And also then what I can do, depending, because you can do different stages of memberships, I can then prioritize comments and so questions on other things, and I can also do different memberships where you can actually say I could help people with swings and custom fit queries and stuff like that. So I haven't kind of decided, because I've got my own view on money, and it just bugs me that everything nowadays where people are trying to extract every single last bit of everything out of everyone. So I don't want to, again, it's no point in taking the pee, but it's a great way to focus people's requirements. And I know that I don't know when it's a case of someone's put a comment on, I don't know how much effort, or I really want to focus the responses that I give, and I respond quite a lot, but a response that I give, I want to make sure that I direct that at the people that warrant it, that basically like that. I mean, just things that people have done today. I mean, I will just have a quick, if I can. Is it not working? It's not working, doesn't matter. Normally comes up. But yeah, people have donated today, and it's just been such a lovely thing that when you see people do that, it does warm my heart, my little stone cold. And when people donate, just like, even sometimes there's a small amount of money, it just shows the support that they give the channel, and it's such a nice thing to see and experience. So yeah. Stephen Frederick, hi Jay, what do you think of the Wilson staff model blades? Wilson makes some really very good blades. So like the FG Tours and stuff like that. Yeah, great irons, really good irons. Feel really good. Top end blades. Okay, when it comes to custom fit, it's a little bit more difficult because generally speaking, the lower the brand, and I'm not calling Wilson low brand, but I'm just saying, generally speaking, as you change the brand hierarchy, you change the custom fitting potential. And so you go for somewhere where you're going to get a really good head, but sometimes they haven't got the shaft that you require for a proper bend profile test. And you could lose a little bit of performance from not having the right spec. And especially if you're going to spend X amount of hundreds and hundreds of pounds, even if it's slightly cheaper because it's going to be a Wilson, you want to spend your money once. And yeah, so that's the only downside with going to a brand that potentially hasn't got the same amount of options for everybody, because just haven't got the options that say a Mizuno have, or Callaway has, or a TaylorMade has, or a Ping are slightly different, but kind of get the idea. Will the Mizuno swing analyzer you seem to like, I do, be able to find a shaft for me to put in a G430 driver? No. Is it just Mizuno fitters that carry the analyzer? Oh, so yes. So, right, so Ping are the only ones that are different. So I'll get them out there straight away. Generally speaking, okay, with G430 is slightly different because it's slightly lighter by a few grams, but it's slightly lighter than the previous ones. Now, Ping have always been heavy head. Why heavy head? Because obviously they've been the kings of forgiveness, and I always liken it to this. If you had a polystyrene wall and you put a post stripe through the middle, yeah, and you kicked a football up against that polystyrene wall, the polystyrene wall would just give straight away, yeah, because it would do. There's no mass there. You swap that polystyrene wall for a brick wall, and you still have that post in the middle which you can rotate around. You can kick a football at it, and football's coming straight back at you. It will do, because it's heavy head. And by doing that, what you need to do, heavy head, you need to have the counterbalance shaft. If not, you're going to feel like you're swinging a lead weight on the end of a stick. So everyone in its shafts previous to 430 is heavily counterbalanced. Now the 430 isn't quite so heavy, but it's still heavy. Everything is not quite so counterbalanced, but it is still, yeah. So you can use the swing analyzer to understand what kind of shaft profile the golfer requires. And then it's down to the experience of the ping fitter to be able to then marry that with the shafts that they have. And because they haven't got as many shafts as other manufacturers, and a lot of their shafts are their own shafts, you do need the ping fitter to be very experienced in his own fittings of ping and cross-referencing other manufacturers and stuff, so yeah. Oh, I just picked that up. Hang on a second, I'll go to the other screen so I can see that. That was Class Grooves, thank you. Oh, that's very kind. Just noticed that's come through on, what's the conversion rate? I don't know what, CA, I had this before with Axel. We had DKK, which was Danish kroner. There you go. I'm terrible when it comes to currencies. Thank you very much. So that is really appreciated. Thank you very, very kindly for that. Much, much appreciated. Oh, I've got the list of people up there. So yeah, Niels, I've had Niels, Martins, I had Abstract, I can't remember your name again. So apologies. A Special K, a glass, all donated today. It's very, very kind, really is. Right, scroll down. Tesla Steve. I wonder what you drive. Say 4 mil toe, 4 mil low for us. 4 mil toe, 4 mil low. I should say millimeters, but I'm terrible. Whether it's slang, I don't know. But when, there's a little bit of pointless information for you. But when I used to work with my dad doing certain things around the house, and he was doing this and he's doing, because Dad was very good with his hands and done a lot of practical stuff, I used to work with him and help him out and doing stuff like that. And of course, he would say millimeters as mil. You can't help it. You pick up things from your parents, people you respect, and people that you spend time with. So yeah, I call millimeters mil. There you go. Bit of useless information for you. I don't know how many other YouTubers are like this when it comes to, but that's me. There you go. Gary, I watch plenty of this stuff, and trust me, you give everyone an answer, unlike others who pick and choose their questions. People would gladly pay per month for a members live chat. Okay, well look, that's cool, because that will then, at least that will enable me to then direct my attention at people that like warrant and really want, and obviously want to get invested in everyone else's questions and getting part of the community side of things. So I honestly think, I mean, it's golf in the community done in the right way. It's like an encyclopedia. There's so much information out there that other people can glean from people. And as long as we direct it in the right way, we manage it in the right way, of all the right information going out there, I mean, it's just a world of potential for people to learn. It's a weird game, it really is, but it's, yeah, I'll look into that one, because that's an idea. Sherry and the somethings. I'm not even going to ask where that one come from. Jay, can you make me a better golfer with 1 hour lesson playing off 8? Ooh, right, okay, so that's a really good question. Playing off 8, mistake bubbles. I call this mistake bubbles because if you talk about a brand new golfer, 30 handicap, it doesn't matter what it be. Everyone's got mistake bubbles. The Sherry and the the worse you are at something, yeah, at golf, your mistake bubbles are bigger. So you've got lots and lots of big mistake bubbles. And then you look at those mistake bubbles and you go, right, if I pop that mistake bubble, you've automatically got 10 shots better because you're hitting the ground that far before the golf ball, yeah? Do that and then you instantly get better. So you can take chunks off people's handicap really quickly when you're terrible. When you get lower, the mistake bubbles get smaller and they get smaller and smaller and smaller and you have to pop more of them. Okay, when it comes to playing off 8, and this gets down to a single figure, so you are a single figure handicap golfer. Do you know what? There's very little that a coach can tell you how to hit a golf ball when you're playing off a single figure digit handicap. And that's an honest thing, they can't, right? What they can do is they can teach you skill sets, and that skill sets means that because of the fact that you're a reason you're an 8. Now, if you can articulate to the coach or whoever you're talking to the true reason why you're 8, then they can help you. Otherwise, it's a case of they will look at you within a session and say that, okay, can you do this, can you do that, can you do this, can you do that? And then they're going to be teaching you different ways of thought. Mental game is massive when it comes to, especially as you go lower in the handicap, and then also higher in the handicap as well, but making the correct decisions and stuff like that. But could I? I wouldn't say yes, and I wouldn't say no, because without seeing you, generally speaking, and this is generally speaking, when people go for lessons, if people take the information correctly and they apply that correctly when it comes to practice, lessons are out there to make you better. But it's like if I was to give every single one of you now 10 Japanese words, and I say, right guys, same time next week. And for the guys, some of you guys are going to be down there, so I'll write them down. So I'll get them down, I'll write them down. And every single day you read those 10 out, and you make sure you recite them, get the 10 out. Every single day you go back to them, and you recite them. Next week you come back, and there's going to be a certain amount of you guys that have done your homework, you've practiced, you've done all the work you need to, and you'll reel off those 10 names. Certain other guys will go like, oh, do you know what? Work was really busy. Family, I had a kid's birthday party, car had a problem, that had to go in the garage. This week's been crazy. So I haven't done it, unfortunately. But that happens all the time. That's life. So unfortunately, things don't quite work the way you'd like them sometimes. So you go for a lesson, and it's how that lesson is applied more so necessarily that the information that is given. Now, of course, there's always going to be gradients and understanding of differences between coaches and stuff. I'm very simple. Very simple person. No, I like to do things in a way that I can try and get as much information as I can across in a lesson, trying to get the most change with the least moves. So if I'm looking at, say, 2 things, whether it be angle of attack, whether it be face angles, club paths, or anything else like dynamic lie, I'm looking at thinking, right, how much can I get done in one swing thought? Because people can only think of maximum 2 things. I have never found someone who can actively think 3 things in a swing. There you go, 3 things in a swing. Some people can only do 1. So try and get as much done with 1 is best. Song out to flick over. Oh, and if you can hear that one, that's when you have a doorbell thingy. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, if someone's at your door, you get a response. Right, doesn't matter. There we go. Right, quickly, can you make, okay, are the ping shafts made by another well-known shafts manufacturer? Great question, I'm not entirely certain. I think they make them themselves, if I'm not wrong. I thought you had reviewed the Stealth irons before. I thought you said it was poor on toe missing. Ah, yes I have. But I haven't done the HDs. The HD, high definition, no. Hot design, answers on a postcard too, comment below what the heck HD stands for. But there you go. Martin, thank you again. You keep on doing that. So I tell you what, there is enough call for people that want some form of being a part of a membership community. So I will look into doing it. And that means then I can then focus a lot of my attention on people that are actively wanting to be a part of the community as such. I can actively focus my attention on them. I'll still try and answer obviously as many questions as I absolutely possibly can do, because I always do, and I have this thing that I try to do my best as I possibly can. But sometimes it's just not possible, so thank you. Hey folks, we only have 20 thumbs up. It's all right, people don't care about the likes. YouTube likes it, so do I. And yes, if people thumbed up stuff more, then YouTube's algorithm would get the content out there more. But I'm not here to change people's habits. I'd like to think they would thumb it up, but then again, I'd much rather you guys thumb up the normal videos, because this is just a live stream. So I'm not really going to be this live stream is more for like the AskGolfNut community than it is for hunting for other people. Right. Where we go. Tessa Steve, just bought Mizuno 923 Pro, 60 gap wedge, good, a month ago. Having trouble hitting the gap wedge, it doesn't seem to be the same cavity back as a pitching wedge. Do you think it could be a 923 forged gap wedge, which they had made a matching gap wedge? Right, so when it comes to the hot metals and all that lot, when it comes to the wedges, they've always moved to a standardized JPX wedge. So the design is fractionally different, not massively, but it's just fractionally slightly different. Now it's going to be swing weighted the same, it's going to be designed within reason exactly the same as everything else, so it is a feel thing. It is between your brain or between your ears, but it is an important thing you need. So I'd go somewhere to just get it tested, understand how you're striking it differently, how you're manipulating the head differently, how you're swinging it differently than to your pitching wedge, and then what your next wedge is after your gap wedge, and see where the difference is like, because there will be a glaringly obvious difference on how you're delivering the golf club if it's that specific. IJ for Andy Wood, watched the average golfer test a driver and his average smash was 1.5, hardly average. I asked if we was fudging figures, and it made me misleading to other average golfers who saw his numbers. It depends if he was using TrackMan or not. So if he was using TrackMan or a radar-based system, then his smash factor would be artificially higher. When I say artificial, it's not artificial, it's just measuring points are different, and so one is captured at maximum deformation, not compression, because there's no such thing as compression on a golf ball, it's deformation, and then the quad or a camera-based system is taken at the point of first contact, -1 frame, or back 1 frame. Gary, thank you. Just noticed that one. Appreciate all the info. I appreciate that as well. Thank you very much. That's very, very, very kind. And I will definitely think about doing the memberships, because it'll be quite a good thing to get a focused group. And it will probably grow and stuff like that. So good. Let's flick over, because I think I can use this screen now because it's bigger. There we go. Sherry in the something. Thanks, great answer. No welcome. No problem. You're welcome. Or no welcome. Tessa Steve, ping shafts are made by Aldila. Just Googled it for your people. Thank you very kindly. Is that the? Is that just wood, or is that wood and the ones for irons as well when it comes to the graphite option? Goldfish, do all pro players bow their left wrist at impact? At impact, no. I can hit the ball this way, but it doesn't feel natural when it feels like it's not a powerful swing. Everyone's different. Everyone's different. They all have different deliveries, they all have different impact positions. It all comes down to many things when it comes to their initial start grip. So if you have different grips, you're already going to have different wrist conditions at impact. Because if you just went a weak grip and a strong grip, so weak grip this way, strong grip that way, obviously as will rotate around because the camera, doesn't matter. What you'll find is basically that you will have a different top wrist position. So if you have a fairly neutral and you're sort of fairly down, like whatever it be, you will have a fairly, oh, hang on, bear with, where is it round that way? There you go. You'll have a fairly like that. Yeah, at the top. Everything's back to front when it comes to camera. Generally speaking, if you have a stronger grip, you will be a little bit more cupped. Yeah, and when you have a weak grip and stuff like that, you will be a bit more. But everyone's different, because you can have those different grips and then deliver a different handle position, which would then need your wrist would need to move anyway. So there's so many different things. Basically, it all comes down to what's most effective for you. And I would always say this to every single person that I've ever coached. Keep it simple. Try and do as least moves as you possibly can. Try and make your swing as non-complex as possible. Try and make it as boring as you can, because the more things that you have to try and think about, compensate for, or deliver, is the harder that you're going to find golf, because not everyone has the ability to, well, let's say, practice every single day. And if you can't, then practice is precious. So if you're practicing as much as you can, but it's only once or twice a week, then being honest, if you've got less things in your swing movements wise to worry about, you're going to find it a lot easier to practice a very small amount of movements than people with massive, like Matty Wolf. Oh, you'd never teach that, but he does really well. But he does hit golf balls every day. So there you go. Liam Williams hit my JPX 923 forward tonight for the first time, pure as heel. Yep. Yeah, hell. But notice the majority were coming off very near to the heel. Very unusual, depending on your swing. Liam, just a tip. Going forward, get out of that habit as quick as you can. Never hit the heel. A JPX, any JPX with its stability frame, power frame, whatever you want to call it, V chassis, they call so many different things. It works very, very well off toe hits. So if you're going to miss a JPX, miss it out the toe. Just miss it out the toe. You're going to get a really good forgiveness number hitting out the toe. You are going to get penalised if you hit out the heel. So it's the slowest part of the face because of rotation and mass. Your mass is moving through the air. The golf club's moving through the air, but the golf club is rotating at the same time. So the heel is going the slowest. The toes going the fastest because of rotation, and also obviously when you look at the trampoline, the heel is the smallest part of the face. Even if you look at one of these things, look at this thing, it's HD. It's the smallest part of the face, where this is the biggest part of the face, and this is a ridiculously small kind of weird hybrid design. Stealth HD review coming soon. You to drink. Still on the mouthwash. It's not mouthwash. That's right. Cheers, Tessa Steve. Yeah, okay. HD high draw. Thank you. That's what it was, because it is draw biased. So these ones are draw biased, and they are. High draw. Thank you. Is it a high? Well. What do you think about thumbs down at impact, as opposed to thumbs up? You'd have to explain that one a little bit more, because obviously your hands are facing down anyway, so your thumbs will be going downwards. I'm assuming you mean what, thumbs down the grip, as in straight down. Am I a fan of that? No. Very quickly, okay, let's do this transition very quick. Right, this is an opportunity for me to get my butt out of the core. Right. That one there you go. So you can probably see me over here. No, you can't, anyway, it doesn't matter. Right, so from this point on, you can see me, right? I am someone, if anything, my shoulders roll forward a little bit. Now, I'm exaggerating, they don't roll like that, but I stand here like this, yeah? So I'm standing fairly upright, but my shoulders roll in a little bit. So basically what happens is I skip back day too much at the gym and just concentrated on the chest, because us men, you know, we all like concentrating on the chest. But because I did that, my shoulders roll forward, which means if you look at how I stand, I stand with my thumbs going inwards. So effectively, if I was to go grab a golf club, yeah, a tour, 923 tour. If I was to go grab a golf club with my thumbs going straight down the grip like that, straight face, thumbs down the grip, because I want to go blah, leave the hands just to do their own thing. I don't know if anyone can see where my face is looking. Very right. So if I then go put my hands gripped on the position where my hands are naturally rotated like that, when I'm going like that, it's straight. They're no different. I can go uber strong, and it would so that's biomechanics wins when it comes to goes. What is neutral? What is neutral for you? Other people that have got a little bit more of a rotation this way, so they didn't skip back day, they would be more neutral because their shoulders rotate this way, which means their thumbs would be more closer down towards the shaft. And I will skip across and I will transition back. There you go. Did everyone enjoy that? It's like challenge Anakin there for a second. Test Steve, Ping AWT, steel shards made by Nippon, all Ping graphite shards made by Ardilla, some graphite passwords made by UST. Thank you very much. David, hello, how are you? I pulled the grip from my G410 Tour hybrid shaft and it had a UST sticker on it. Well, I hope you didn't do that just for me. Liam, cheers, no problem. I need the exercise. Golfer, your swing does not look complicated. Your hands stay surprisingly low. Yeah, I've had other people moan about, oh, you are very bent over, aren't you? Well, do you know what? Ask Keegan Bradley. He's more bent over than me. So everyone has a spectrum. This is what I say when it comes to people. What should I be more this and should I be more that? There's a spectrum of what's acceptable. Yeah, what you can play with without compromising something and stuff like that. So as long as you're not having to compensate for a fault, a swing is a characteristic. It's not a fault. It's only have to be a fault when you have to compensate for it. So there's a spectrum of where you can be. You can be very upright or you can be very flat. Doesn't matter. And there's no different to grips. You can have all these different things as long as they work. You need an autoflex review on the channel. I don't. Oh my word, the Facebook trolls would go mental. I would, you know, I'd be plagued for life if I did that. I don't care about shafting an iron. I'm a bit more sensitive in drive, especially length. But yeah. Alex, thank you. YouTube beverage fund. Hang on, YouTube drink. Am I the only YouTuber who has a YouTube drink? There you go. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Sherry and the critters. Thumbs down as in the club would be straight with a lead arm. Thumbs down as in the club would be straight. Answers on a postcard. I must admit, I'm having a little time. And my dad always just said this, that he could see something. So when he's talking about a building, when he's talking about a project, he's something he can see it in his head. I could never see it. I'd have to write it down. I'd have to design it, draw it, understand it like that. I'd have to picture it properly first. I find it very difficult to visualize other people's descriptions of something. So, cut long story short, my silly little mind cannot understand what you're saying with there, but that's my fault, not yours. So, David M, does that mean you should play with strong left hand and a weak right? No, because my hand, so I do, okay, that's a really good thing. So what I will do, I'll pop back over to here, and I'll do the thing. There we go. Ta-da, as if by magic. So, what I do is I do play with a strong left. As you can see, that is my, well, I'll do my normal grip, shall I? There you go, that's my normal grip. So always take your grip from vertical. Why do you take your grip from vertical? Because your hands go straight into it. Your fingers go straight into it like that, yeah? So if you take your grip from down here, your hand has to bend this way to get it into the fingers, which isn't natural. So most people grip it straight away like that and goes up into the putter grip, which obviously we know is not a good idea. So anyway, always grip it from up here. So you've got the grip up like that. Yep, done. So you've got a face which is straight and you've got your grip. Now, I am slightly what people see as strong. Strong left hand grip, yes I am, but we're talking about, you know, how gorilla-like I am when it comes to skipping back day. So yeah, my arms rotate inwards, so this one's gripped this way. When it comes to this hand, my right hand, oh, and I'm pulling the cable of my microphone out of my pocket. My right hand is used to temper my left. So my right hand I use as a fairly sensitive tweak. So I always, for every single shot, I keep my left hand exactly the same. So I don't change it in bunkers and stuff like that. I do change this hand though. So under normal circumstances, I will have fairly neutral right hand grip to temper my left, because I am left-handed, remember. I'm not right-handed, I play right-handed, but I am left-handed, so my dominant is my left-hand side. And so by using that, I can control club face a lot easier. And then obviously I will move my hands around depending on what kind of shot. If I want to encourage a hook, as in I'm aiming to the right and hooking it, I will keep left hand grip exactly the same, but I'll strengthen up my right. When I'm in a bunker, I will keep my left hand grip exactly the same, pre-open the face, etc. But I will really weaken off my right. That's how I do it, basically. There you go. Ugh. Little insight. The grip would be touching the forearm. Oh, I'm terrible. It's not, yes, sharing this, it's not. Where is your teaching studio? In an undisclosed location. It's like the Batcave. No, it's not the Batcave. Yeah, I love a little bit of dun dun dun. Thanks for the explanation. It's fine. That's absolutely fine, Dave. I could explain that one because I knew what you're talking about. Unfortunately, Sherry and the critters, he hasn't done a bad job explaining. I'm just thick when it comes to trying to picture what he's saying, so it's not his fault, that's mine. So I'm doing a poor job on that one. Tessa Steve, never heard you were left-handed before. Yes, I am left-handed. Anything left-handed, anything one-handed, I am left-handed. Anything two-handed, I'll go righty. Can you tell us why you golf right-handed? Too many yips playing righty? No, so we live in a right-handed world, and I understood from a very young age and junior that unless I was gonna be, now one of my good friends, Andy, who's been a teaching pro in Bury for decades, Bury St Edmunds, and his son is left-handed. Charlie, left-handed. He's a good player. He's getting to a point where he's beating his dad now, and Andy's no slouch around a golf course. Charlie's left-handed, and that unfortunately means the fact that, yeah, his access to equipment is tricky, and yeah, I feel for him, I do. But I'm so glad that when I was younger, I made the change, because it would have been, well, YouTube would have been a bit of a joke, wouldn't it? Left-handed reviews, so we've got 5 this year. Yeah, that would be it, dear me. But right, so how are we doing? Is everyone happy? Because what's the time now? It's 9:15. I said I was going to go at 9 o'clock. I'm terrible. What I will do, so for everyone still watching, I will think about the memberships idea. Yeah, I will think about it, because what I would like to do with everybody, because there are obviously the the amount of content that I'm doing now, I'm putting more content out, and continue to put more content out. I get loads and loads of questions, and I try as best I can do to answer comments as best I can. I try, but I can't physically get all of them done, because I've still got, yeah, it takes a while to do it. I've had complicated ones. I've actually sort of said, look, I'm editing. It's faster if you Instagram me, and I'll ring you and I'll do a video call from you from where you are in Thailand. As long as you understand English, because my Taiwanese, or whatever they speak in Thailand, isn't very good. So, but doing it that way, I don't get a lot of time. So, yeah, trying to be as efficient, whatever it is, as possible. So yeah, if we do something like dedicated live streams for members, dedicated priority comment answers, depending if we have levels. I don't know if people would have levels when it comes to memberships, when it comes to like swing related things. I don't know. It's an idea I might think about, and I think there's quite a few people that have said, look, they'd be up for it, they'd like to do it. So yeah, I might think about doing that one. All done. Are we all done? We are all done. It's like bidding, isn't it? Are we finished on this? Going. Yeah, but I'll be gone. So right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say thank you very much for everyone who joined and said hello. This is way past football time. So thanks for everybody who's not interested in football who popped on. I might test Steve, no problem whatsoever. Good night, pal. Azrat, thank you very much for today. It's been very. Hang on a second. I just want to do the right thing, as I always do. I want to say before we all go, I want to give a shout out to these people here for their very, very, very kind donations. It has been. It is lovely when people do this, because it's not asked for. It is literally just through the goodness of people's own hearts, and they want to contribute and to support the channel, and it makes a huge difference. And so Neil Jackson was the first one, and he's said thanks for not inserting ads. YouTube so through this whole live stream, every so often YouTube gives me a big old warning saying this would be a really good time to stick an ad in, and I keep on saying shut up. Shut up, shut up. And is it costing me money? Yes, of course it is, but oh dear me, ads, go away. So yeah, thanks for that. So Martin's Reef, thank you. Abstract, thank you very much. A Special K, thank you very, very much. Glass Grooves, thank you. Martin's again. Gary Mulch, thank you very much. And Alex for the YouTube Beverage Fund. YouTube drink. It's mouthwash. It is, it's mouthwash. No, it's not. Answer on a postcard too. So, thank you very much for everybody. It's been a pleasure as always. Afternoon 1:15 here. Thanks for the Q&A. No problem whatsoever. I might change it to Mondays, because Mondays there is no golf on when it comes to a Thursday. Golf was on. When it comes to a Thursday, Abstract Ava, I couldn't possibly comment. Is that same colour? But then when I was to Monday, because Monday there is no golf on, obviously Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday when it comes to the tour playing and stuff like that. And then I'm not sure what other sports Monday nights are on or anything like that, but I'm not quite sure exactly what I'll do. But Monday nights seem possibly to work the best for more people. I will see what people think. But it's a pleasure as always. Thank you very much for everybody that has joined in. It's been a pleasure to answer your questions, to interact, and basically just give you more example of me. This is me. I'm like it when it comes to my videos, and I'm like it in everyday life. I'll have a joke and stuff like that. Just stay off of Facebook, because Facebook, there's just people on Facebook that just poisonous trolls. Thumbs up, or was that a thumbs down? I do. Sherry and the critters, we'll call it. I take a picture and send it through, because I'm not doing you justice here, and I'd feel bad the fact that you've tried, like properly tried, and thicko me cannot understand what you're trying to say. I'm going to get a picture of it and I'll go, of course, well in that case, but yeah, so I apologise for that. That's my fault, not yours. Marjorie, don't think there should be levels, mate. Who can afford it can give extra. Yeah, I'm very, yeah, I'm just conscious of the fact that my only concern would be that if so many people done it, it'd be like I'm no different now, and I'm like, I can't, yeah. So, but no, I take your point. That's good. So that kind of feedback, constructive feedback, is brilliant. I'm happy with people to give any form of, excuse me. I haven't been talking now for a little while. I'm happy for anyone to give any form of ideas, thoughts, understandings on the direction of things and stuff like that. Absolutely happy to wrist angle down, like what, like that? Wrist picture. Send me a picture. Right. Like a whip move. Well, that is the release in golf. Technically, that is the release in golf. People think like that because you go from that angle there, yeah, obviously, and then an impact, you have that angle out, it's gone. And then you're moving wrists in different ways and stuff like that for impact. But basically, that is the release, but it's obviously rotating as well. So you're kind of going like that and then rotating. But yeah, there you go. Get there in the end. Yeah, so the release is not what people think. So release actually happens through ulnar and radial deviation with rotation and stuff like that. And you've got a little bit of supination and stuff like that and pronation in it. But effectively, depending on how your wrist is either extending or flexing with what your original grip is and stuff like that, it gets really interesting to talk about wrist angles with your however many 6-axis change direction. So it balls the rubbish out of most people. So, but yes, you are right. Absolutely. Right, everyone, thank you very, very kindly. It's been a pleasure. I've got through quite a few questions, and I've done through quite a few questions. And if I've missed anybody's question, I apologise. I thought I've done the lot, but I'm having to flick between two different screens because the screen that you see on there, the screen, obviously the text size is a certain size, and if it scrolls through, because I'm not faster enough answering questions, I have to flick over to the other screen where the text is a bit smaller. I can fit more questions on the screen. So, hope you're well. Been a pleasure, and I'll probably go for Mondays going forward. So it might not be next Monday, it might be the Monday after that. I will look into the memberships idea that people have fed back on, and doing a small thing for that as an idea. Let me digest that one, and I'll probably reach out on the definitely not on Facebook, the community of YouTube. So that's great. John S, hello. Hope you're well. So thank you very much, and we'll see you very soon for the next one.